Unleashing the Phoenix, How Trauma Can Ignite Extraordinary Growth. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that challenges everything you thought you knew about trauma and resilience. We're about to embark on a journey that will shake your foundations, question your assumptions, and potentially revolutionize the way you view life's most devastating experiences. Our guide on this transformative expedition is none other than Tiffiney L. Hall, a woman whose very existence defies the conventional narrative of trauma. Tiffany isn't just a survivor, she's a beacon of hope, a global social justice ambassador recognized by the U.S. Department of Justice Office for Victims of Crime. For nearly 2 decades, she has been a voice for the voiceless, a champion for those who have been battered by life's cruelest storms. Her work as the CEO of Positive and founder of A Positive Place has redefined what it means to heal, to grow, and to thrive in the face of adversity. Tiffany's insights aren't just thought provoking, they're revolutionary. They challenge the very core of how we perceive trauma and its aftermath. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear might just turn your world upside down. Imagine for a moment that the worst thing that ever happened to you could become the catalyst for the best version of yourself. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? Almost insulting to those who've suffered. But what if I told you that science is beginning to uncover evidence that supports this seemingly outrageous claim? This is the essence of post traumatic growth, or PTG, a concept that's sending shock waves through the fields of psychology and neuroscience. It's not about minimizing the pain or suffering that trauma causes. No, it's about recognizing that within the depths of our darkest experiences lies a seed of extraordinary potential for growth, resilience, and transformation. Now, I can almost hear the skeptics among you. You're thinking, this is just toxic positivity in disguise. It's telling people to look on the bright side of their suffering. Let me be clear, that's not what this is about. Post traumatic growth doesn't deny the reality of pain or the devastating impact of trauma. Instead, it offers a radical new perspective on what's possible in the aftermath. Let's dive into the first earth shattering insight from Tiffany's work: the power of hope and meaning in the face of trauma. Conventional wisdom tells us that traumatic experiences rob us of hope and leave our lives devoid of meaning. But what if the opposite could be true? What if trauma, when approached with the right mindset, could actually be a gateway to discovering deeper hope and more profound meaning in our lives? Consider this story from a groundbreaking study on post traumatic growth. Sarah, a survivor of a violent assault, found herself trapped in a cycle of fear and despair. The world, once full of color and possibility, had become a threatening monochrome landscape. But through therapy and a supportive community, Sarah began to reframe her experience. She didn't diminish the pain she had endured, but she found ways to use that pain as a catalyst for change. Sarah started volunteering at a crisis center, using her experience to help others navigate their darkest hours. In doing so, she discovered a sense of purpose more powerful than anything she'd known before. Her trauma, rather than defining her, became the springboard for a life of profound meaning and impact. This isn't an isolated incident. The study found that individuals who were able to find meaning in their traumatic experiences showed better recovery and increased resilience. They didn't just return to their pre trauma state, they surpassed it, developing levels of empathy, strength, and purpose they never thought possible. But here's where it gets really interesting and where Tiffany's insights truly shine. It's not just about finding meaning, it's about the role of positive emotions in this process of growth. Now, I know what you're thinking. Positive emotions after trauma. It seems almost insulting to suggest, but bear with me, because this is where things get fascinating. Research on positive emotions and PTG has shown that fostering positive emotions can actually buffer against the negative effects of trauma. It's not about forcing yourself to be happy or denying your pain. Instead, it's about finding moments of joy, gratitude, or peace, no matter how small, in the midst of your healing journey. Let me share another story with you. Michael, a veteran struggling with PTSD, found himself isolated and overwhelmed by negative emotions. His therapist suggested an unconventional approach. Alongside his trauma focused therapy, Michael was encouraged to engage in activities that brought him joy, no matter how fleeting. At first, Michael was skeptical. How could playing his guitar or going for a hike make any difference in the face of his trauma? But slowly, something remarkable began to happen. These pockets of positive emotion became lifelines, moments of respite in the storm of his healing journey. They didn't erase his trauma, but they gave him the strength to face it. Over time, Michael found that these positive experiences were doing more than just making him feel temporarily better. They were expanding his perspective, helping him to see possibilities for his future that he couldn't envision before. This ties directly into Tiffiney's work on the power of positive thinking and healing. But it's not just about individual emotions. The research shows that social support plays a crucial role in post traumatic growth. Trauma can make us feel isolated, cut off from the world around us. But maintaining connections with others, seeking support, and even offering support to fellow survivors can be a powerful force in our healing journey. This brings us to perhaps the most counterintuitive aspect of post traumatic growth, the idea that trauma can lead to increased personal strength and resilience. I know it sounds completely backwards. How can something that breaks us down make us stronger? Let me introduce you to Amina. Amina survived a harrowing experience of domestic violence that left her feeling broken and powerless. The road to recovery was long and painful, filled with setbacks and moments of despair. But as she worked through her trauma, something unexpected began to happen. Amina discovered strengths she never knew she had. She found a voice she didn't know existed. The process of healing from her trauma required her to dig deep, to face fears she'd always run from, to stand up for herself in ways she never had before. And in doing so, she uncovered a wellspring of resilience that transformed not just her recovery, but her entire life. Today, Amina is an advocate for domestic violence survivors, using her experience to help others find their strength. She often says that while she would never choose to go through her trauma again, she wouldn't trade the person she's become because of it. This is the essence of post traumatic growth. It's not about glossing over the pain or pretending trauma isn't devastating. It's about recognizing our incredible capacity as human beings to not just survive, but to use our most painful experiences as catalysts for profound personal growth. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, that's great for them, but my trauma is different. It's too severe, too recent, too overwhelming for this to apply to me. And I want to acknowledge that thought. Every trauma is unique, and every journey of healing is deeply personal. Post traumatic growth isn't a one size fits all solution, and it's certainly not something that happens overnight. But here's the thing, the potential for growth exists within you, no matter what you've been through. It's not about forcing it or putting pressure on yourself to get over it. It's about opening yourself to the possibility that your trauma doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be, as difficult as this might be to imagine right now, the beginning of a new chapter. So how do we cultivate this growth? How do we tap into this potential that Tiffiney L. Hall and the research on post-traumatic growth suggest is within us? Here are some practical steps to consider. First, allow yourself to hope. This doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your situation, but rather allowing yourself to believe that healing and growth are possible. Set small, achievable goals for yourself and celebrate each step forward, no matter how small. Second, seek meaning. This doesn't mean trying to find a reason for your trauma, but rather looking for ways to create meaning in your healing journey. This could involve helping others, advocating for change, or finding new purpose in your life. Third, cultivate positive emotions. Again, this isn't about forcing happiness, but about allowing yourself to experience moments of joy, gratitude, or peace when they arise. Practice mindfulness, engage in activities you enjoy, and don't feel guilty about moments of happiness. Fourth, connect with others, build and maintain social connections. Reach out to trusted friends and family, join support groups, or consider therapy. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Fifth, focus on personal growth. Set goals for yourself that aren't related to your trauma. Learn new skills, pursue interests, and challenge yourself in ways that help you recognize your own strength and resilience. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge that embodies the revolutionary spirit of Tiffiney L. Hall's work and the groundbreaking research on post-traumatic growth. I challenge you to look at your life through a new lens, to consider the possibility that your deepest wounds could become your greatest strengths, to imagine a future where your trauma doesn't define you, but rather becomes the catalyst for a version of yourself you never dreamed possible. This isn't about denying your pain or minimizing your struggles. It's about expanding your vision of what's possible. It's about recognizing that within you lies an incredible capacity for resilience, growth, and transformation. So I ask you, how will you begin to shift your perspective on trauma to embrace the potential for post traumatic growth? What small step can you take today to build hope, find meaning, or foster positive emotions in your life? And for those of you who haven't experienced significant trauma, I challenge you to use these insights to support those around you who have. How can you be a beacon of hope, a source of positive support for someone navigating their own journey of healing? Remember, this journey isn't about erasing the past or minimizing pain. It's about recognizing that even in our darkest moments, there exists the potential for growth, resilience, and transformation. It's about understanding that our traumas don't have to be the end of our story, they can be the beginning of a new chapter. One where we emerge stronger, more compassionate, and more alive than ever before. As Tiffiney L. Hall's work demonstrates, this transformation isn't just personal, it has the power to create ripples of positive change throughout our communities and our world. By embracing the potential for post traumatic growth, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, not just for healing, but for creating a more compassionate, resilient, and empowered society. So, I leave you with this final thought. Your trauma does not define you, your resilience does, your growth does, your capacity to transform pain into purpose does. You are not just a survivor, you are a phoenix with the potential to rise from the ashes stronger and more brilliant than ever before. The choice is yours. Will you accept the challenge? Will you dare to see your trauma not as an endpoint, but as a starting line? Will you join the ranks of those who have turned their deepest pain into their greatest strength? The journey won't be easy. It will require courage, perseverance, and a complete shift in how you view yourself and your experiences. But as Tiffiney's work and the research we've explored today show, it is possible. And not only is it possible, but it has the potential to lead you to levels of strength, resilience, and personal growth that you might never have imagined. So, as you leave this podcast today, I urge you, don't just listen to these words. Let them ignite a spark within you. Let them challenge you to rewrite your story, to redefine what's possible in the face of adversity, because within you lies the power to not just overcome trauma, but to use it as a catalyst for extraordinary growth and transformation. The world is waiting for your phoenix to rise. Are you ready to spread your wings and soar?